And trouble, the trouble is sometimes caused by the enemy. You know we have an enemy, don't you? He no longer looks like the enemy that we saw growing up. He's no longer a red man with red horns and fire all around him with a pitchfork in his hand. That's what trouble looked like growing up. But nowadays trouble looks like so many things. Trouble even looks like a pink slip, foreclosure, repossession, and tall, dark, and handsome, and trouble every now and then is on the TV screens. And come on, somebody, you know what I'm talking about. Trouble will distract you, allow you to lose your mind, and allow you to just lose focus. David, in our text this morning, you've heard this psalm before, Psalm 37. It's probably one of your favorites. It gets you through a very difficult time. And David was no enemy and no stranger to trouble. David had plenty of enemies in his home and outside of his home. David, because of who David was, a man after God's own heart, found himself in trouble every now and then. The fact that David was not perfect, and so that's why I imagine that you can fall in the text this morning. I can fall in the text this morning because David had an enemy who was constantly chasing him. And the fact is that this morning, I don't know what you're dealing with, but David can help us and to remind us a few things, 4 simple things that can help us get through our trials and tribulations. It can help us shout when we don't want to shout. It can help us dance when we don't feel like dancing. It can help us give God praise when we don't feel like giving Him praise. And it will allow us to pray when we don't feel like praying. Number 1, just as simple this morning, because David lets us know in the first verse, it says, "Do not fret because of evildoers. Be not envious of workers of iniquity, for they soon shall be cut down like the grass which wither as green herb." Don't worry about what other folks are going through. The enemy, it seems like the enemy, every time I turn around, somebody who's not saved, somebody who's doing everything they should not be doing, is getting blessed. Come on, somebody. They're getting all the raises. They're getting all the nice cars. They're getting the promotions. They're getting the job that you're qualified for. You trained them. It seems like, God, why am I not prospering? Why am I not getting advanced? Why is my health not getting better? It seems like I'm serving you with all my heart. I'm giving you everything that I am. I'm tired. I'm being a good steward. But it seems like the person next to me is always prospering. And the fact is, he said, don't worry about them, because they soon shall be cut down. But to you, the child of God, to you, the believer, this is what you ought to do. He says, first thing you ought to do is just trust. Trust in the Lord. I know this is simple. You got this. We're going to go home in a few minutes. But I need to remind somebody that when you're in trouble, trust in the Lord. Don't put your trust in man. Don't put your trust in the economy. Don't put your trust in the president. Put your trust in the Lord. Put your trust in the one who created the heavens and the earth. Put your trust in the one who created you from the dust. Put your trust in the one who hangs the moon and the stars, the one that will keep you during a very difficult time. Just like He kept David, He will keep you and I. Not only must you trust Him, He says, and do good. While you're waiting and trusting Him, do good. Don't get discouraged. Don't get down and out. Keep trusting, keep doing good. What does good look like? Good is not complaining, not whining, not fussing, but still giving Him the praise. All right, let me hurry up. Let me hurry up. Not only that, He says, dwell in the land and feed on His faithfulness. I like this because while you're trusting, Lord, you can have faith to know that the storm, eventually, the rain will stop. The hail will stop falling on your head. Come on, somebody. I know this. His faithfulness. And I don't know about you, but you know the Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You're looking at me because you can't see some things right now and what's going on in your life. I don't know about you, but hang on just a little bit longer. It's going to be all right. I know there's some tears in your eyes and your heart is heavy, but trust in the one who is faithful to keep you in times like these. That's in the text. It says, His faithfulness. Not my faithfulness, not your faithfulness, but the faithfulness of God. One who will not break promises. He keeps it and he does everything that he says. Am I in the text? Look at verse number 3. It's capital. It says his faithfulness. David is talking about God's faithfulness. God is faithful. Not only that, let me just say you must delight in the Lord. While you're in trouble, when you're going through the valley of the shadow of death, that's trouble. When you're in trouble, delight in the Lord. Okay, what does that look like? Look like in a relationship. My wife and I in a relationship, every now and then, if one of us has a bad day or a good day, and you can tell by the vibe that you're getting, they know something is going on. And in a good relationship, a solid relationship, you can delight yourself in that individual. You can feed off them. You can think about what's good inside of them and how they're believing in you, how they're going to encourage you, and they're giving you some feedback. You know, it's going to be okay, Brian. You're going to get through that, Sister Meeks. There's somebody who's giving you some feedback, and to delight is to be happy and to look forward to something. And I don't know about you, but when it talks about delight yourself in the Lord, you ought to start thinking about the Lord. Start thinking about who He is and think about His character. Think about that He has all power. Think about He's all knowing. He's all wise. Think about His character. He's righteous. He's holy. He's nothing like us. Start delighting in the Lord. And He shall give you the desires of your heart. Not only must you trust Him, not only must you delight in Him, commit yourself. Commit your way, verse 5, commit your way to the Lord. And David had a strong commitment. David did not let his circumstances dictate his relationship and his responses to the Lord. Okay? David sacrificed his life. He sacrificed his time.
All right.
Even his own physical body. He gave it everything that he had. He said that, God, you have been so good to me that I know that I'm in trouble. I know things aren't going the way I think they should go, but I'm going to stay committed. I'm not going to walk away from our relationship. No matter how strong the wind is blowing, no matter how the enemy continues to attack me from every side, I'm going to stay committed to you because I love you and you love me. Now what does that look like? That looks like a marriage that folks have stayed together for a very long time. Nowadays, our commitment level, it's not here at Pleasant Green, but there's a commitment level when it comes to marriage. When you accept Christ, He has chosen you. You put on the ring, you accept Him in your heart. You can't just walk away. Come on, somebody, help me out. Because nowadays we're able to take our rings off and go to the next person. Oh, you know I'm right about it.
Yes, sir.
But David said, look, I'm going to commit myself to the Lord. And let me encourage you, the best thing to hold on to while you're in trouble is the Lord. Because somebody else might let you down. They might not be there when you need them. But if you commit yourself to the Lord, not only must you trust, delight, commit. Lastly, and I'm done, rest in the Lord. And I know this is simple. But look what David says. If you look at verse number 6, please. He shall bring forth your righteousness as light and your justice as the noonday. 7 says, rest in the Lord. Because I don't know about you, but every now and then in this physical flesh, trouble wears you down. Am I the only one? Because trouble has a way, it's like a backpack every now and then. It seems like it just wears you down. And you can't do the things that you need to do. Come on, in track, it's like the monkey on your back when you're running the 400. You hit the first curve. Come on, Sister Thomas, you know what I'm talking about. You ran the 400. You hit the first curve, hit the last second straightaway, and you're coming around it. Seems like it's a monkey on your back, and you just can't get there to when you see the finish line, but it seems like something is just holding you back. That's no different than the believer. Every now and then the burdens that we do carry can wear us down. But he said, rest in the Lord, be silent. Let the Lord handle your business. Give it to the Lord. Let him carry it for you. He said in his word that you just rest in the Lord. While you're resting, while you're going through your situation, just wait patiently for him. Wait on him. He's coming. He's on his way. He's going to do what he said. Just wait on him. While you're waiting, still give him some praise and give him some glory while you're waiting on him, because I'm looking around the room tonight. This morning, there's some folks who are waiting on the Lord. Because I see you smiling. You're in worship this morning. You've been giving him praise. And I imagine everything ain't right in your life. I can only speculate that everything's not going well. You're just waiting patiently on the Lord. You know he's going to show up. When he shows up, he's on time. When he shows up, he shows out. And so I don't know about you. Maybe it's your neighbor who's waiting on the Lord. He's not waiting correctly. He's waiting, he's murmuring, he's complaining. Tap your neighbor on the shoulder. Let him know that. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage. He shall